What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's playoff time. Well, just about. It's week 18. I'm the big dog named Austin. It's it. This is it. It's week 18. We're at the last regular season game of the NFL season. I think we should all take a moment this Saturday and this Sunday. Let's take a moment when these games are going on and let's really just embrace NFL football. Because this is it. This is the last regular season game of the year. Playoffs start next week. It's the real deal. Some of these games going on tomorrow, they don't matter. I'm not going to go over the games in this video. What I'm going to go over in this video are playoff scenarios and standings. A lot's going on. Let me get into it. Let me start by saying the Colts have a massive game against Houston, and I'm on the edge of my seat right now. I'm so nervous. I'm so ready for this game. I cannot wait for Saturday. I hope we win, man. I really want to win this game. Man, I'm telling you. All right, but let's get into this. The number one seed in the AFC, you've got the Baltimore Ravens. They are 13-3 right now. They are locked in to that one seed. They can't move down. They cannot go anywhere. They can't lose the division. Nothing can happen to the Ravens. In fact, I don't think that they're going to play Lamar this week. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure if that's come out yet. I know that the Chiefs have come out and said that they're not starting Patrick Mahomes. I've seen the Browns. They've said that they're not starting Joe Flacco. I don't know for sure about the Baltimore Ravens. I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson rested. But they play the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, this game matters to them a lot. The Steelers are 9-7. They're in the 9 spot right now. They're 2 spots out of the playoffs. The Steelers, they're 9-7. Steelers need some stuff to happen. The Steelers, they need the Jaguars to win. I'm trying to piece this together without looking at it. I think if the Jaguars lose and the Colts win and the Steelers win, then the Steelers are in above the Jaguars and the Texans. So any combination of that. So if the Texans win against the Colts, but as long as the Jaguars lose against the Tennessee Titans, I feel like that'd give the division title to whoever won the Colts-Texans game, and that would bump the Jaguars out, and the Steelers would be in. But I don't know if the Steelers can be in if the Bills lose, because if the Dolphins beat the Bills are 9-7, the Steelers are 9-7, and there's going to be one loser from the Colts-Texans game, so that's going to knock them out. I think that Jaguars game matters for the Steelers a lot. I think that they need the Jaguars to lose. That way they can get them out. Or maybe the Jaguars to win. I don't know. Maybe the Bills to lose. I think all that matters for the Steelers. Not 100% sure without looking at it. The phone I was going to have for this video is dead. What we move on. The 2 seed, the Miami Dolphins, they can lose the AFC East after leading it for most of the year, if not all of the year. The Miami Dolphins, they're 11-5. They play Buffalo on Sunday night in Miami. Let's make sure that that's noted. Now the Dolphins, I don't know. They got their ass kicked against the Baltimore Ravens last week. What was that? 49. I don't remember the final. 56-19. Something crazy. I mean, the Dolphins, they need to rebound, and the Bills, they might be one of the hottest teams in the league. I've kept saying about the Bills, like, I'm afraid of the Bills as far as that playoff spot goes, and I wasn't wrong. I was not wrong. They're 10-6. Right now they've got a wild card spot above the Colts because the Bills are in the 6th spot, second in their division. This game's it. And, I mean, the Bills are hot. I really, really think that the Bills might win this game. If the Bills win this game, they'll win the division and be the 2 seed. If the Dolphins win this game, they'll be the 2 seed, and the Bills will be eliminated. So there's that. Then the 3 seed, we have the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era. There could be a possibility where they don't play a home playoff game. But for this time around, for next weekend, they will host a playoff game. They are locked into that 3 seed, so they have announced that they are resting Patrick Mahomes. I don't know about any other players. I just know about Patrick Mahomes. So, and they're playing the Chargers. It's at the Chargers. This might be one of like the games of the week. I mean, the Chiefs, they're really not playing for anything. They could lose, be 10-7, still be the 3 seed, or they could win, be 11-6, still be the 3 seed. So it's not really, it doesn't really matter. Then the 4 seed, the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the only, not the only division that's not won, but like they're the only division leaders that's just not in it. Like they could drop out just by losing. I mean, the Dolphins, if they lose, they're still in it. The Chiefs, they lose, they're still in it. The Ravens, if they lose, they're still in it. The Jaguars, if they lose, which they've been doing a lot of losing here lately, but if they lose to the Titans at Tennessee, then that opens the door for whoever wins the Texans-Colts game. And you all know who I'm rooting for. So that game matters a lot. That game's at 1 o'clock on Sunday. The Colts game's at 8:15 on Saturday night. So we'll know who's going to win the South, if it's going to be one of those teams or, the Jags. But that game against the Tennessee Titans, that matters for them. But Trevor Lawrence has been banged up. He was limited in practice on Wednesday. So, will he play? He didn't play last week. Then you've got the 5 seed, the Cleveland Browns. They're locked into the 5 seed. They can't win the division. They can't go any lower. They play at Cincinnati. They've announced that they're resting Joe Flacco. This game doesn't matter. Then we move on to the 6th seed, the Buffalo Bills. As I mentioned, this game absolutely matters. They play the Miami Dolphins. If the Bills win, like I said, they go up to the 2 seed. The Dolphins can drop down to the 6 or the 7. The Dolphins are in the playoffs regardless of the outcome. But obviously they want to win the AFC East. Because you playing home playoff games in Miami versus having to go on the road in January in Baltimore, Kansas City, and Buffalo. So that's a big deal. That is an absolute massive deal for the Miami Dolphins. This is a big game. This is also a big game for the Buffalo Bills. Like, if there's going to be one year where the Bills could go on another playoff run, this could be one of those years because the Bills have, they're pretty hot right now. I feel like they're pretty hot. But, man, this game is actually absolutely critical if the Dolphins want to go on a deep playoff run like they've been talking about all year long. But here we are. They've got their backs against the wall. I feel like Buffalo's coming in as the team to beat. Miami, I feel like they're on the downward trend. Buffalo's on the upward trend. So we'll see what happens there. But that's definitely interesting. And then the most interesting part I'm just been I couldn't really enjoy that win on Sunday. I love that we won against the Raiders. I was so excited. But I know what's coming. And they announced it Sunday night, 8:15, 8:20 on Saturday night. I'm going to be in the building, absolutely stoked, absolutely pumped. Dude, I cannot wait for this game. I don't know if the Colts have had a game quite like this in Indianapolis in quite some time. It's against the Houston Texans. Both of these teams are 9-7. It's simple. The Colts win, they're in. Now, the Colts can still win the AFC South, which would put them at a 4 seed. That would require the Jacksonville Jaguars losing to the Tennessee Titans and the Colts beating the Houston Texans. Same goes for the Houston Texans. If the Texans were to beat the Colts, Jaguars will lose to the Titans. The Texans would then win the AFC South. But regardless, the winner of this game is getting a playoff spot. That could be the 6th seed, that could be the 7th seed, and as I mentioned before, could be the 4 seed. Hopefully the Colts get it done against the Texans. I'll have a breakdown video later on this week. Right now, I'm not going to do that because that's too much to get into. I'm too excited for that game. But that's the scenario that we're presented with. Number 9 Steelers. I told you I was talking about them earlier. I kind of bounced to them earlier. They need to win, and a couple other funky things need to happen. I feel like the Jaguars need to lose to the Titans. I feel like the Bills losing to the Dolphins would also put them in. I'm not sure if the Bills and Steelers have played this year. Don't have my phone on me, like I said. That's the only one that I'm a little unsure of. is the Steelers getting in. But they still have a definite chance to get in. I think just as long as the Colts and Texans don't tie. If the Colts and Texans tie, God help us all. Then we move on to the NFC. The number 1 seed, locked in. Can't move any higher, can't move any lower. The number 1, San Francisco 49ers. Congratulations. They were 12-4. They play the LA Rams. That game for the LA Rams absolutely matters. I don't want to jump down again, but I'm going to. The Rams, they're in the playoffs. They're locked in. They're 9-7. But they can slide down 1. They can be the 6th seed. So that's why it matters. I don't know if it matters too much. It depends on if they want to go on the road against the Lions or go on the road against the Cowboys. As the Rams, I don't know which one that would be. That'd be kind of crazy. Oh, what about if right now, as it stands, they're the 6th seed, the Lions are the 3, so they, right now, as it stands, I'm getting so excited about this because this is just crazy. Right now, as it stands, the Lions are the 3 seed, the Detroit Lions, and the Rams are the 6th seed. So what does that mean? Oh, Matthew Stafford might be going back to Detroit for a playoff game. Ooh, that's good. That's good. But we'll focus on the scenarios here. So the Rams are still in. The Rams could be a 7th seed. They could be a 6th seed. Me personally, I hope they're a 6th seed because I'd love to watch Stafford go against the Detroit Lions. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. But speaking of the Lions, they are the 3 seed. They are locked into that spot. They can't get any. I don't think. Yeah, they can get higher. They can if the Cowboys no. If the Cowboys lose and the Eagles lose, the Lions would bump up to the 2 seed. That's a lot because the Eagles are on the road against the Giants. The Cowboys are on the road against the Commanders. Cowboys, if they win against the Commanders, they win their division. If the Cowboys lose to the Commanders and the Eagles beat the Giants, then the Eagles would win the division. But both of those teams, the Cowboys and Eagles, are both in the playoffs. They both have a clinched playoff spot. So, no matter what happens, if they win, lose, whatever, they're still in the playoffs. But what matters is who wins the division and who doesn't. Whoever doesn't win the division would be the 5 seed. So right now, that's the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 11-5. So that's the first wild card spot. I'm assuming, now this isn't my picks video, but I'm assuming that the Cowboys will take care of the Washington Commanders. They'll stay at that 2 seed. The Lions will stay at the 3 seed, whether they win or lose, because they lost that head-to-head game against the Cowboys. Which, by the way, that Saturday game, the Lions-Cowboys game, where the ref didn't report this player as eligible or whatever happened, is massive. It is absolutely massive because now the Lions are the 3 seed and the Cowboys are winning the division. Wild, wild stuff. I hope you're keeping up. I know I'm just going off teams and stats and stuff, and it's a lot. It sounds like a lot, and it's making sense in my mind, but I'm hoping it's making sense in your mind. It's just a lot going on. But let's move on to the number 4 seed, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're 8-8. It gets a little complicated here. There are 3 teams who can possibly win this division on Sunday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the New Orleans Saints, and the Atlanta Falcons. Because this division is so bad that, any of those 3 teams can win it. It's simple for the Buccaneers. Win against the Carolina Panthers in Carolina, against the David Tepper-owned Carolina Panthers. So, go Buccaneers, because I don't want to see any David Tepper team succeed. The Buccaneers, if they win, they're in. They're the division winners. If the Buccaneers lose, the winner of that Saints and Falcons game would be the winner of the division. So there's that. But I don't think that there's any way for these teams to get into a wild card spot. Speaking of the wild card, I already went over the Philadelphia Eagles. Locked into a wild card spot as the Rams. They play at San Francisco. They could slide down 7. In that 7 spot right now is the Green Bay Packers, who just come off of a blowout road win against the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers play the Chicago Bears in Lambeau. This is to make the playoffs. If the Packers win, they're in the playoffs. If the Packers lose, then that opens the door for the Seattle Seahawks, who right now are on the outside looking in. The Seahawks are also 8-8. So the Seahawks are rooting for the Bears. The Seahawks need to take care of business against the Arizona Cardinals, who, by the way, just beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. So don't discount the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of crazy stuff going on. And then one more team that I almost forgot. I really did almost forget this team. I don't know how they're still in it. This is another game I wish I had my phone for, because I'd look up to see if they beat the Packers the first time or what's going on with that. But the Minnesota Vikings still have a chance to make the wild card spot at 7-9. I would assume that the Vikings would need the Saints to lose to the Falcons. They would need the Seahawks to lose to the Cardinals. And they would need the Packers to lose to the Bears. All three of those would happen, and the Vikings win, obviously, against Detroit. In Detroit, I don't think that's happening. Then the Vikings would be into that 7th spot. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Packers make it in. So kind of my predictions there. Let's go predictions. Let's go on predictions. So I think the 2 seed belongs to Buffalo. The 3 seed is the Chiefs. The 4 seed, I think that'll be Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville gets it done in Tennessee. The 5 seed obviously is going to be the Browns. The 6 seed, I said, since Buffalo's winning the division, I think will be the Colts. I think the Colts win on Saturday. You bet your ass Colts winning on Saturday. And then the 7 seed probably go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's cool. Great. Good for them. Again, Mike Tomlin above 500. The NFC, we have the 49ers at the number 1 seed. That's locked in. Can't do anything with that. The number 2 seed, Dallas Cowboys. That's what's going to end up being, unfortunately. The number 3 seed, the Detroit Lions. The number 4 seed, I do think the Buccaneers, they're going to win easily at Carolina. No doubt about it. Then the Eagles, obviously, as the 5 seed. The Rams is the 6. The Rams might lose. Actually, I did see that they benched their quarterback, too. They benched Brock Purdy. They're going with Sam Darnold. But they could still win. But I think that the Rams, 6 or 7, it doesn't matter. But then, yes, the Packers. So, I mean, it's looking like a good playoff matchup, good playoff race. And one thing I can't wait for Saturday, man. And if the Colts win and Colts make the playoffs, I will be so happy. I can't tell you how happy I'll be, man. You'll just have to wait and see. I really just hope the Colts make the playoffs. Big game on Saturday. And I know I keep getting back to that, man, but I'm so excited. This last week 18 is going to be so incredible. And this is where I get into the part where, like, we need to stop and appreciate kind of what's going on. Because, that commercial that keeps going around, it's sooner or later, it's just going to be March. And that's true. Like, this is the last regular season game of the year for everybody. Even if you're the Carolina Panthers, this is it. This is all the football you've got for your favorite team. For the teams that are out of it, it sucks. It's the end of the season. It's whatever. You might not even watch. I remember how I felt last year. The last game of the season was a home game against the Texans. Ironically enough. And I just, it was a joke because the Colts were so bad. But here we are in completely different spots. So it's just it's a wild thing, man. And it's so funny how, like, I look forward to football all year long. And then here it is, and then it's gone. We got one more week. So let's just enjoy it. Everybody just have fun on Saturday and Sunday. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the hell out of it. But that's it. That's all I've got. Man, let's go. Let's go, Colts. I've mixed this up. I'm the big dog named Austin. Now, let's get to it. Let's go, Colts!